Rub-a-dub-dub. Time for some grub. We can make new stuff now. Yummy. Now for another episode of Cooking with Kev. I had to go and scrounge up a few more things. We finally have fat. I cooked a couple of elk. So I can fry a few things. Once it lets me. I think I made... where are we here? Beet campfire salad. Was okay. Now, one of the things about storage in this game is that if you place down in an unclaimed property, and before I get too ahead of myself, if I put a marker down, this guy here, right? Block. This becomes a homestead. You can use this tool to show you chunks you've claimed. So 5 by 5. You can set who gets to access them, a couple other things. If you have chests in a claimed area, any table you own will be able to see all of those chests. That might sound like... yeah. That might sound okay. Unfortunately, the way storage works in this game, it will drive you up the wall. Because, well, yes, this guy here will be able to see all of that. It would automatically decide it is allowed to pull or deposit into whatever it makes. Cannot stress. You need to have some control over all of this. Now, playing this game, try to play like Minecraft. You put all your production facilities in one spot. You then are proceeded to be driven up the wall by trying to figure out where stuff goes. It is odd that in a game, you are being essentially forced to spread out your production in order to keep what's going on here from tripping over what's going on there. Sometimes, here and there are making a thing needed there. And you have to put something in between them that everything can see. And organization becomes very rapidly not fun. Just the way the game is coded. So over here, I cannot stress. Let it pick a few storage devices. These are chests. These actually aren't... Icebox is the thing you want. An icebox in a claimed room is what you want, but we'll get there. So this stuff has a lifespan of 3 days. That's not game days, that's actual days. Right? So, you pick it, it's got a 4-day countdown. Like 96 actual hours in real life. Which means something if you're playing on a server. If you're playing single player, not so much, because you can just shut the game off when you're not playing it. Now, I can make... I made the fern. Oh, I made beet. That's what I made. And the weird, like, the game puts everything in alphabetical order. As instead of having, like, you start off being able to make this, then can move into this, then can move into this. It puts everything in alphabetical orders. You have to keep track of, well, I couldn't make this last time, but I can make it now. Where does it go on the list? We're going to make a few things to find out what I like. Part of palm, even see a palm tree. Root. Things like this here that want boiled grains. So I got to make a couple of them. Right now, the only grain, right? This one says any grain, which is rice and wheat. I have wheat. Sometimes you want it to make. You want to save certain things for certain projects. The game doesn't distinguish between one or the other. So you might have to, if you just wanted to use wheat in this and use your rice on a different project, you might have to separate them out. I haven't been quite that granular in the way I've done things. You can also queue things up. So the blue bar is materials, The yellow bar is we have to put in work to do things, right? Like in order to make these wilted fiddleheads, right? I put it in order. Yep, we have wilted heads, and it's gonna need. What is it here? 15 campfire labor, 12 calories. So I've got 1046. Click on that. 1034. And this is per operation. So I wanted to queue a bunch of these up. Let's queue up. What have I got a whole bunch of? Fish. Burned a bunch of fish. 19 fish. This is going to take 15 seconds and 15 labor pers if I run this up to use all 19 of that. It's going to work on this order for 4 minutes. Cost me 200 some calories, right? But order. It only looks for the material it's going to use now. But you have to dump all the labor into it. That gives me 2 operations, a few more, or I just hold Alt and it'll fill it all out. So that cost me a fair amount of calories. You gotta spend calories to make calories when it comes to food. Got a whole new pile of stuff here. Let's start out. You can. They've gone through the effort of giving these things eating animations, right? And each one of them has their own container, which is pretty cool. And an animation. You can sit through, and it'll tell you whether or not you liked it. I like that. Or you hold the button down the hatch. You get the same amount of calories and nutrition out of it, just whether or not you want to save the, the time. It's already at 104.6. We need to eat a whole lot more protein. Whoops. Thankfully, fish is made of protein. I don't know if I like it yet. It's unfortunately very low fat. So we may have to kind of, earlier on you may have to kind of waffle between certain foods. Even later in the game you're going to wind up carrying around a protein dish and a protein fat dish and a carbs vitamin dish. This weight meter, you're going to fill it up pretty fast. You carry around too much food. So unlike Minecraft, you can just carry around stacks and stacks and stacks of, baked potatoes. You can't do that in this game. Then depending on what you're going to do, that's going to disappear pretty fast. So as it stands, we've got some materials. What we need is start doing some research. I know for a fact I have fiber. That comes from this guy at the research table. Make it. Because I want to be impatient, we're just going to make a whole other workbench. Stuff's right there. You have to tell it where all the material is, otherwise it can't find it. Or you have to have it on you when you make it. 15 seconds gets us that. Oh, it should have eaten me enough calories so I can eat this fish now. It's calm, slow eating. Yum, yum, yum. What do we get? Okay. Okay is not bad. As long as it's not a yuck, we're fine. Gimme where to go. You made a thing, where is it? Did you? You made a thing, where'd you put it? There it is. Because sometimes you just want to be impatient. Look. Model's pretty cool for a lot of these. Some of the tables have newer updated models. They look pretty nice. I'll say that. Their art teams, we put in the work. Now this table we're making. Oh. Self-improvement. This one is like a background stat. You can either have deeper pockets or a bigger stomach. I like carrying stuff. Now, The glutton thing means you can go further. You have more food on you. You can have more food in you, I guess. This lets you carry more, and I'm going to go with the carry more because we can always just carry food on us. Campfire cooking is leveled up. Bannock, and a bunch of stuff. Over here, Bannock. In real life, I actually really enjoy Bannock. Bannock is a nice everything when done properly. I have yet to do Bannock properly. I play games like this because I cannot cook to save my life in real life. So this table we're making, which we're done here in a couple seconds. There we are. A bunch of tables in this thing. Wants to be in a room of 0.5. The way materials work is natural materials are a quality of 0. Hewn logs, which is what I'm making now, are a quality of 1. Ordered stone is a quality of 1. Then after that, there's ordered stone. And ordered stone's a 1. Level 2 is lumber and brick. 3 is lumber, brick, and glass. 3 is reinforced concrete, corrugated steel. Some odd choices there. Something else. 4 is framed glass, carpets, and I'm forgetting because it's been that long. As you get these things, you can build more buildings. Now, to build this building flat with the ground, you have to dig stuff up. I'm not going to do that. What we're going to do is we've got this really nice view here, and the fact that I'm lazy. So we go to our hammer. Right now, if we try to place this, we just get that. We can place things in the world, which is actually a really neat mechanic. You can make stuff and just use it as decoration. You have all of these options. The stone hammer has 2 choices of point or fill. So with point, we'll go with 4. This is one thing at a time. We go with line. Click once, slide over. This lets you spend calories a lot faster. Now, I could build a floor to this. I'll show you just for the purposes of getting our research off the ground. Give me a wall. Just click like that. This guy is actually, he is 2 by 2 by 3 high. It's kind of a silly amount, so we try to put him down in here. That 2 by 2 by 3. They would, what they kind of want you to do, they expect you to do, the intent of the designers is to build a room with a door, one more. Parkour in this game is not, coming from Minecraft, its parkour elements are kind of terrible. Finish this room off. What they expect you to do is to build a room like that and put a roof on it. Which is actually a whole bunch of, there's a lot of really neat roof options, but we're not going to worry about them just yet. Now this takes up a lot of materials, and in case you haven't noticed, you don't get to carry a lot of material on you at a time. It's like 15 or 20, depending on the material. Which means in order to fill this all in, we would have to do a bunch of stuff. Windows are an option. Windows save us material. So are doors. Doors are an option. The game reads any too wide opening as a door. You're too high by one wide opening as a door, any single opening as a window. Well, right now, there we are. Right, we are currently. It counts as a room. And you can see the tier is 0.68 because we don't have a whole lot of tier 1 materials around us. And we have 25 blocks of 0 underneath us. You can kind of... There's our... Right. 51 hewn logs and 20 dirt. This is an unclaimed room because we haven't claimed it. But it works. And from here, we have to do all the research. And you have to decide what you're going to work on. Now, the reason I took gathering is that gathering gets you things like farming, tailoring, carpentry. If you've watched, I did a video a while back where most of the techs are gated behind the carpentry table. In order to get the carpentry table, you need gathering. So now essentially everything is gated behind the most basic skill in the game, which is interesting, but when you're playing by yourself, you have to accumulate all of these skills to make things. So right now I can make, what are we here? Gathering research papers. This is the only thing I can make right now. Well, I can make some of these, like the basic ones, right? Make basic gathering, which is per paper, 10 plant fibers, 15 raw food. It was pretty easy to get. These culinary basics are fried veggies and salads. I can make those now because I have campfire cooking. And then beyond that, you need skills to make anything else. And therein lies the problem in how you want to determine your path in this game. If you're playing with other people, you can spec out into certain skills. If you're playing by yourself, you now have to navigate which skills you're going to be able to use and when. So in that playthrough I walked away from, I was 7 skills into it, and I had kind of goofed up. I took a skill earlier than I should have that I couldn't use, and it just sat there. And because every star you get, right, like right now I'm at an hour 14 to get my second star, the next one's going to be even longer. Like it takes you longer and longer to get stuff. It kind of makes sense because you need to spend a bunch of time getting materials to do stuff with the skill you just got. You know? So we have to decide what we're going to go into first. Now, cooking is the easiest way to speed this up. And butchery. Butchery gets you butchery. Butchery lets you make food items. Some food items. Where are we here? Oh, it's hunting. Oh, yeah. So you need hunting. There's some weird stuff. Butchery gets you the ability to turn animals into meat instead of just burning them. You make sausage. Roasts. These are much better options than just burning meat. The problem is that to make a butchery table is it's a carpentry table. And it requires... That's the upgrade. The butchery table itself is over here. What are those, the logs? Right. The butchery table itself is here. Requires carpentry. Carpentry. The carpentry skill book requires you to take logging. So in order to get a slightly better class of food, I have to progress through logging and carpentry before I can actually use butchering. And then, in order to unlock the butchery skill book, you need hunting. So just to get to here, I'm looking at hunting, logging, carpentry before I can take butchery. Carpentry requires dendrology, which you need to get from logging, that's okay. So our first skill is going to have to, the next skill we take is going to have to be, might as well be logging, because you're logging into carpentry gets everything else. I have to do all of that just to get slightly better food. And that's why this game takes forever to play. It's also why I like playing with other people, because then I don't have to cut down trees. I just get to farm, plant my carrots, and bake my food, and vicariously do things I can't do in real life. So, I'll see you again when I get another star, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'll see you in the future.